Hello and welcome to another update video about INJ. In one of the last videos we talked about sort of the area around $40 for the next target, and it is beyond that now. So it's now reached all my targets and is even extending further. So as you might know, my approach in such situations is just to simply track support and see where it takes us, because we're now in all-time high territory. Let's talk about the different scenarios that we've got on this chart. So first of all, let's talk about my original scenario, which assumed, okay, this could be a wave 1 to the upside, this initial move up in April 21. Wave 2 to the downside bottomed in June 22. We could now really be in this third wave to the upside that could really be very aggressively bullish. Bit of a moon count. Disregard a little bit here these levels. I mean, it's not necessarily realistic, but I mean, we can take a wait and see approach. But the thing is, this is just the projection, the overall scenario that we were dealing with. And we said, okay, in this particular scenario here, this move up that started in June 22 would be a wave 1. I don't have a really very reliable start point to draw the fibs, but let's just do it here at around 63 cents we could start. And then we take it down to the low of the wave 2. Yeah, and then we are looking at normally the area around the 61.8 extension, but that was not long enough because the subwave structure didn't align. But then I said, okay, the next reliable target would be around $23, but that was broken as well, obviously. And then we said, okay, it could still stretch a little higher, maybe to the top of the trend channel, but now we've arrived there as well. So that takes me to the assumption that, okay, this is actually starting to get pretty unreliable to call this, let's say, a wave 1, a wave 2, okay, and then that we are in a wave 3, and this is going to be a nice 5-wave move. This is now unreliable. It's not invalid, and I don't want to change the wave count just yet, but I can tell you that things are going to get unreliable because of that. So I want to see where price action is heading. I assume currently it will head a little higher, but it's too long, basically, this entire move up for wave 1 of the larger degree third wave. Okay, we don't want it normally to exceed the 78.6 extension that was at $23. We still were tracking further upside, but now it's grown to a length where I say, okay, that's not reliable. So, well, maybe I should take it out then, actually, to be honest. Let's take that count out and let's explore what else would be possible. So basically the price has arrived where we wanted it to arrive. It even moved a little higher. I already shared you in the previous video that if we get above a certain level, and I think I mentioned the $40 level or something, it's likely something different, and it would likely be this A, B, C structure, yeah. That's sort of one scenario in which the price, you know, could basically move. A, B, C. Bit of a tricky structure though, because also here in this A, B, C structure, I mean, what would be the next target? Well, in terms of Fibonacci levels, I would have to start down here. So that's an unreliable start for a measurement of the fibs because of the startup candle. But if we say, okay, we measure the length of the A wave, go to the low of the B, then I would pay attention to the $51 level next. Let's take a look at that $51 level next. Let's see if anything happens there, okay? And then, I mean, if it's an ABC structure, the next target to watch would be at 127. Okay, so that gives you two key levels to watch when we look at the bigger picture, based on a revised, you could say, count that considers that the price has moved beyond initial projections. Okay, that means we have to look at, okay, what else would allow, where the main reason behind the wave counts is to get these Fibonacci projections that can give us targets, because to be honest, there isn't much more we can do. You know, there is no structural resistance or anything. So that's a possibility in a C wave. The other possibility would be that it remains a 1-2 setup, yeah, 1-2, and that we are moving up indeed in a third wave, which would be up here. If that's the case, the third wave should ideally reach to the 1.38 extension. and that would be in a diagonal. Okay, so I'd go away from the assumption it could be an impulse to, okay, it would have to be some kind of a diagonal. And that would mean that we're likely dealing with something like, okay, 3 waves up in wave 1. Difficult though. Difficult count though. Very, very difficult. I mean, this, don't like this. So there are possibilities to count it as 1, 2. I mean, is this 3, 4, 5? Again, it's too long for that really. So this would have to be an A, B, C in wave 3, 4, 5. That's sort of how I would see this count. Bear in mind, this doesn't give me a reliable count. I've always said that. So we need to be prepared, especially when we're dealing with, this was likely a triangle, especially if we're dealing with a chart that is moving in a diagonal. We likely have to be very flexible with the wave count. Okay, so also in this scenario, I mean, again, this 1/5 of a third should then take us to around about 219. Ideally, maybe 127, but if it's a third in a diagonal, we want to get it there. Yeah, I mean, these are the next key fib levels that I'm watching. The other way is now to take a look at this A wave there, go to the low of the B. And again, the problem is with this triangle, where did the B end? I've got some confluence also here around $127. I leave all these fibs on the chart. They are relevant projections: 51, 57, 94, 127. There's good confluence there, and 219. One of the main problems on this chart is that this here, I mean, this could be a triangle pattern that formed here, some kind of a triangle in an A, B, C, D, E. One possibility. There are other ways of counting this, so it is tricky. This count is tricky. Even if we say, okay, maybe the B wave was this, then we have in the C wave a 1, 2, 3, 4 extended 5th. Possible. And then what is micro support? So I gave you target projections that you need, and then we can also look at the micro support level, which I would place at $25.24. So that's all I can do really. So let's see if the price will react to one of these levels indicated, and then we revisit it next time. But it takes a break below $25 pretty much to now confirm that some kind of a more substantial top has formed. That's my update about INJ. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.